with laughs and debates, the love never done.
Welcome back to the Two Yorkshire podcast, back for the 2026 season and powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. Carl, news round, we're back.
Yes, we are back. Yeah, glad to see you both again. I've had to put up with a Christmas full of EastEnders, Coronation Street, and a few Leeds Rhinos having a bit of a whinge here and there. But all that aside, we are back and raring to go, aren't we? So, as I normally say on the weekly podcast, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you're listening from. As Gaz stated, there was some news and some fixture results to go through, so we have got quite a bit to go through. So we'll get us move on. I don't really like to say too much about pre-season friendlies, guys. I'm pretty sure you're the same. But what I do like to do is recognise people for testimonial games and the time that give to them particular clubs. So there was a few testimonials, in the off season. Starting off with Brad Fash's testimonial for Hull FC. They came up short against the Giants in a 28-16 defeat. Gaz, your man Matty Lees, he had a testimonial. Yep. Obviously, they got a good win over the Castleford Tigers, 40 points to 10. I believe you was there, mate. How did it go?
Yeah, really good turnout for the bloke and a good result. I mean, like you say, you can't judge off a friendly game, but by the looks of it, we're going to look all right this season. Also Cam Smith at Leeds had his testimonial as well.
Yeah, it's certainly these games. It's for the player rather than the club, isn't it? I mean, Cam Smith, he's done fairly well for Rhinos over the years. Jordan, I mean, we know he's moving on to pastures new, which we'll discuss about in the weekly news. A 46 points to 16 victory over the Bradford Bulls, mate. Was it justified for him?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's had a tough spell with his injuries recently, and he's coming back, and then he's back out for a few weeks with a knock. He's a good player to have in squad, whether it's off at bench or just where he usually plays. I'm glad that he had one, to be honest. But yeah, it was a good game, good run out front, boys.
Yeah, and last but not least, Gaz's arch rival, the Wigan Warriors, their wingman Liam Marshall, he had a testimonial and they came away with a 22 points to 17 victory over Hull FC. I mean, as much as it probably pained you to say, Gaz, he's been a quality winger for the Warriors over the years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he deserves his testimony here. He's one of those players who might not be as quick as he used to be, but he still pops up where he's needed, and he's still a vital part of that Warriors squad.
Yeah, he certainly knows where the try line is, mate, that's for sure. So, yeah, that was our 4 testimonial games, so we appreciate and recognise what they've done for the game. Moving forward, fellas, there was just a little thing I wanted to discuss before we talk about the round 4 draw for the Challenge Cup. The round 3 results. I mean, I think we pretty much expected a few blowout scores, didn't we? I mean, obviously my team, they blew away Loch Lane. Gaz, your team blew away and put 98 points on one of the Cumbrian teams. There was a couple of other blowouts. Wigan had a few blowouts yesterday, didn't they? And so so on and so forth. We're not going to get too much into that, but is it the case of, Gaz, we knew that would be the case, but it's giving back to them lesser teams and having them a bit of a cash flow?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to be that high of a score, but listen, it's money going to a club in the Championship, and I think they said the money that they made off it compared to staff and players for 2 months or 2 weeks, something like that. So can't argue with that. And I want to put on record there and say the Workington Town fans, apart from the one bloke who's having aneurysm at the back, shouting and screaming at everything, they were brilliant set of fans. They were just having a laugh, you know what I mean? I think they knew what the result was going to be, so they just turned up, had a beer and had a laugh. Fair play to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can go to any rugby league game in the country, or probably even the NRL, in saying that, and I don't know if it's just you guys, but I always get stood behind or in front of a guy shouting for offside, just literally talking
Yeah.
nonsense throughout the game. But as much as we love the game, there's always just that one guy, isn't there? And it's
Yeah, you do get
wherever you go, there'll always be that one guy. That's half an hour or so ago, we obviously had as we're recording this, it's Monday night, so we had the fourth round for the Challenge Cup drawn, and the draw was as follows: Huddersfield Giants at home to Hull KR, Castleford at home to St Helens, York at home to Keighley, Catalan at home to Oldham, Gull Vikings, which is an interesting draw at home to the Wire. That'll give them some finance, like we was discussing a minute ago. Wakefield, they play your beloved Rhinos at home, Jordan. Lee Leopards, they're at home to Hull FC. And the last game of round 4 is the Wigan Warriors at home to the Bradford Bulls. Gaz, what do you reckon to your draw weight? Cass, how do you see that one going?
Like I say, I don't want to use a friendly game to go off, but it's all I know at the minute. I don't see anything other than Saints being on. I'm not one to speak like that. I'm not the arrogant type with it, but yeah, I just don't see Cass doing anything there, to be honest. But I'm going for the hot dogs because they're brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would agree with you. As much as Cass have got some improvements to do, I think St Helens are still quite advanced compared to Cass, aren't they? So I'd probably see a St Helens victory in terms of that. Jordan, onto your draw. Obviously away at Wakey. I know he was getting a little bit frustrated the other day. Barnos didn't play the best, but there was a lot of young kids in there, and Widnes was up for it, mate. They got the job done in the end, so obviously stay positive with it. And now you play Wakefield away. How do you see that one going?
It's an hard one. It's not the probably side I wanted out of what were there. You can't say that's a win for Rhinos, to be honest. That can go either way. You can only go back off last season. They did us at home, didn't they, with the drop goal? So there's no to say that they can't do us again. Do you know what I mean? And it's knockout rugby, isn't it? So all can happen. I do think the fact that obviously Widnes give Leeds a bit of a game. Unfortunately, I feel like that's going to be the same for this round again. I feel like Wakefield will bring it. It's at home. It's a tough one to call, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean when you look for the round 4 fixtures now we know who's going where. There's some big teams going to get knocked out in round 4. I mean, none so much than Giants versus Hull KR. I mean, as a Rovers support, we've always gone, barring up to the last 2 or 3 seasons, we've always gone away at Giants and never been able to get a win. So, like I say, up to a couple of seasons ago, it was always our bogey team, so to speak. So that'll be a tough away trip for us. There's a few there that could be nailed on. I mean, you'd sort of expect Wire to beat Goal, even though you'd like to think you'd give them a decent game. Lee, Hull FC, again, that could go either way, couldn't it? That's player depending. There's a good chance that, one player will make the difference in them tight games. So, yeah, it's all to be had in round 4 of the Challenge Cup, and, there could be a couple of shots on the card.
I think Bradford have got it hard there. I think they've fell short there. Having is it Wigan?
Yeah, Wigan at home. Yeah, Bradford away.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a struggle for Bradford. But like I say, it's Challenge Cup. All can happen. If they want to start, we said this last season about these new 3 teams coming in. They want to play with the big boys. They've got to commit. They've got to perform. They've got to be. Most importantly, they've got to stay in the games. I said last season about fitness is obviously going to be a big deal. They've got to just make sure they stay in the games, and if they stay in games, all can happen. So, we'll just go off that. But
Gaz's segment up next, so he's back.
That's perfect. Perfect timing.
We've managed to get him back, but yeah, there's certainly going to be some some half decent teams knocked out in round 4 of the Challenge Cup. Just in time, Gaz. Obviously, there's been a few changing duties between the three of us, mate. You're now going to start calling Bad Lads Corner. So over to you, pal.
Yeah. Yep. So first up, we've got Paul Vaughan from York Knights. Grade A, raised the knees in tackle. So he's got 1 penalty point for that. 1.5 overall, no further action. Dan Russell of Bradford. Grade A, late contact on player, on the passer, sorry. 1 penalty point, puts into 1.5, no further action. And sorry if I butcher his name, you'll know his name better than me, and I will, Carl. Aribi Doro, also Bradford. Late contact on the passer again, 1 penalty point, 1.25 overall, no further action. So that's all we've got from the Challenge Cup third round.
Yeah, there's not so much going on there, is there? I think when Super League kicks off, though, but there's normally a few more, isn't there? I think the RFL needs some start building the Christmas fund up about this time of year, don't they? So...
I was literally about to say that they've got 14 teams now, so they've got more dosh coming their way, 100%.
Well, we haven't got Morgan Knowles in the Super League anymore, so good luck getting it from us.
They won't get much off you now, Gaz, will they? In terms of St Helens. No, it's funny you should mention Aribo Doro there, because I watched London Bradford game yesterday, and it was one of them. He had a bit of a bit part, place in Rovers' squad last year, and when he did come onto the paddock, and he did carry the ball strong, but there was a lot of Rovers supporters, asking why he wasn't playing more minutes throughout the course of last season, and I saw it again yesterday. He can carry the ball as strong as anybody, but he's just got an error in his game, and he has got that little bit of petulance in him.
Yeah.
Like you say, with his his penalty points and whatnot. So
it's not just,
obviously,
it's not just that, though, is it?
If you're going defending a treble, you can't have any.
That's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. That's what I mean, Carl. To be fair to that lad, how hard would it be to get into your team right now? Do you know what I mean? Like, from 1 to 13, you don't want to change much, do you? Do you know what I mean? You want to tweak it here or there, but you've got your starting lineup. So unfortunately, some lads are going to be down pecking order, aren't they? And if it means he's going to get game time, I'm sure you'd prefer him to go somewhere.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying he should be in our team by any stretch of the imagination. And what I'm trying to say is that there was a few supporters in the terraces asking why he's not playing more minutes. And I think obviously Willie Peters is the main man. He gets 99.9% of his decisions right. And when I watch Arif Doro, he's got that, and he's probably done the right thing for his own career in terms of going to play for a slightly lesser team. No disrespect to Bradford, but he's going to get more minutes. He's going to learn from them mistakes. He's going to get more physical, and he's going to get the time to put them, right them wrongs. So, which I hope he does. So fair play to him. Fair play to the Bradford Bulls for giving him that opportunity. Right then, there's quite a bit more to get through in terms of news round. So we'll crack on. And me and Gaz spoke earlier on, Jordan, without your knowledge. So it's all good. And before I go too deep,
this way it is, but
before I go too far into news round, what we'll do is we'll start with a little rant that you wanted yourself anyway. So we'll get the rant out of the way, mate, and then we'll carry on with news round. So the first piece of news from news round is obviously Leeds Rhinos. They're confirmed back rower James McDonald will leave the club at the end of the season to pursue opportunities with the Perth Bears. But obviously, there's a number of Rhinos players linked, and if not already signed for the Perth Bears. I mean, give us your rant, mate. What's your take on it? I said in the recent
about cover the ears.
Yeah. You're limited to 2 or 3 minutes with this, by the way. I mean, what's your take on it, mate? Is it literally what I said in terms of it's the circle of the game, mate? How do you see it? I know you're frustrated.
It's frustrating because it's like it's come out of nowhere, and I'm totally on board with the fact that they're trying to build a team. I 100% get that. I just don't understand this target with Rhinos, because you can accept a player to go like McDonald, for example, I don't believe Mel Meninga probably knows of him that much. I'll be honest, because it's not like he played at World Cup. It's not like he played in Test series or like that. He'll have probably just found out a few players that are off contract in Super League, and he'll have had someone aside him and go, oh, he's pretty decent. He'll carry the ball quite well. All right, we'll have him. I don't think it's been like that. So when you think of McDonald and that, and then you think of Harry Newman, much as I like Harry Newman don't touch an NRL team for me. So, fair play for him to go and give it a crack. But I think when they've been well established and they've got the foot under the table sort of thing, I think Harry Newman ain't going to get played. So for me, I just think it's pointless. And then obviously Aletsky were rumoured to go as well, and I'm just like, and then now Brodie Croft is rumoured to, be maybe going back to NRL. So it's like we built this team under Brad Arthur, and all of a sudden overnight it's like, all those players are going, and it's upsetting because we've worked hard to get to where we are. Obviously, we're in a bit of the same situation as St Helens. Do you know what I mean? We finished rub up against each other in season, and it's one of those things. It's like, well, if we don't do it this year, what happens next year? Do you know what I mean? You've got potentially. It's not just that though. When you think about the the Bears, you've got Ryan Hall, who's potentially retiring. You've got Mako Sivo, who's not young. You've got McDonald, obviously Harry Newman going, so you've got to get a new centre, a new second rower, and you know what I mean. You look at it straight off the cuff. It's like, oh, Callum Watkins will probably end up retiring. So it's just one of those. It's just frustrating because it's like, where does this team come again? Like it's almost like another rebuild again. So. I just wish that they picked other teams. And when you were mentioning, Carl, about Gareth Ellis and stuff like that, and I get that, so totally get that. But I think back in day, when you're talking 2005, Rhinos did take Gareth Ellis from Wakefield. We were captain at the time, I get that. But when you look at where his career went from Wakefield, he excelled from us signing him. And I think back then it was one of those things where you sign a player and they excel the career. I don't think it were very much back then. It were very much like I'm stealing your best players off the worst of teams. I think it was just we signed him and that were it. But I just don't understand the signings. I don't think Mal Meninga knows who these players are. I'll be honest, I really don't. If it had come out and he's gone, right, we've signed George Williams, I'm more for that because it's like, right, well, we know everybody knows in Australia who he is. He played at World Cup, he's played at Ashes. It's just frustrating.
Joe, I get where you're coming from. Because in the last few years we've had Roby retiring, Megson going to Catalan, Knowles going over to Australia as well, and then we haven't been replacing those players, which is on the club. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with where they're going for. Like you say, it's just the way it goes. Sometimes, I mean, you're going ready to. I hope not, because Leeds belong up to where they are, but you've not got that gap bridged where you've got like the old guard and then the new players are coming through, which is we've done the same thing. You know what I mean? We didn't plan ahead. And that's, I think it just seems worse than what it is because of that.
Yeah.
I think on the flip side. Sorry, Jordan, go on, mate.
No, go on, Carl. You're right. Go on.
No, I was just thinking on the flip side because let's be honest, we all see it from our fans, supporters' eyes, don't we? I mean, you'll think for some of them players, mate, they might not ever get them opportunities again. So I don't begrudge the players individually. I think it's just one of those where the question's asked because, like with Rhinos, they've had Brad Arthur come in and give them a little bit of stability. and you think they build off the back of that stability moving forward, wouldn't you? So I get why you're frustrated. What I would say, to be positive about it, is that, tell me if I'm wrong, fellas, but the likes of Wigan, St Helens, and Rano's probably got the best 3 academy setups in the Super League.
Yeah.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance them three clubs replace them players quicker and better than any other clubs in Super League. So I think sometimes you're either half full and rather half empty, so to speak. So I get where you're coming from, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm not going to begrudge any players. As much as all 3 of us will agree that we think Super League is the top league. And I know, Carl, you're quite clued up with the NRL, so you might have different views. But NRL's big leagues. I get that. It's big money. It's especially if you're a forward. You do well. I mean, Luke Thompson did great, didn't he? Gaz over there. It happens, and McDonald probably will have a good crack. Just like what's his face had it. Bateman, he had a cracking time over in Australia. So I understand it. I mean, I totally get what he's saying. They might not have that chance later down the line, but and especially what is it? Oh God, bleeding hell! This is bad. I forgot his name. He's the Rhinos playing. I forgot his name. Oh, second rower, young lad, gone to New Zealand Warriors.
Come on, this is your area.
This is your expertise.
Oh God, it's gone out of my head. Gone out of my head.
What he'll do is now we'll carry on talking, and it'll come into your head, and you'll just shout it out in about 10 minutes' time, won't you? So, while we're still on the Rhinos subject, Jordan, again, just be positive. There's a bit of news coming out that Leeds Rhinos have been watching the West Tigers Jack Baird the last few weeks. I mean, Tigers want him off the salary cap. Leeds have got a bit of room for 27 by looking at it. Have you seen much of him?
I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't. I've had a look at his Wikipedia. I mentioned it in group with you guys. He don't look good in his resume sort of thing, because he's 30 years old, which I don't like. I don't like picking NRL players who are in the 30s or just turning 30s. I like to bring some young lads over who maybe haven't had that chance. But he don't seem to stay at a club more than 2 years. And I know, a lot of players float around NRL. I get that. But it's just, it's like he hasn't found his feet. And I just think, is he one of those players, one of those flaky players that don't seem to gel in a side? Hopefully, I'm wrong with that, but that's the impression I get anyway.
I think sometimes, Gaz, you just got to take a punt on certain players, haven't you? I mean, we've had some right terrible signings over the years, and then all of a sudden you'll sign something that you haven't really heard of, and the cap just fits the slot in nicely, and then end up becoming one of your better players. I mean, Saints have probably had numerous players like that over the years, i.e. Ben Barber and them type of players where they've had a bit of a bad rep. They'll come in and they light up Super League, don't they? So I mean, I get what Jordan's saying there, but it could happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest example for us when it comes to that is probably Jamie Lyon. Because he came from playing New South Wales counter and ready to give the game up. Then we threw the offer out there, and he became one of the more respected NRL players ever. Definitely one of the most respected in Super League.
Yeah, you've just from time to time, mate. You've got to take a punt, and hopefully it pays off. And I'm sure at some point, Rhinos will pay off with one of these punts. So,
I mean, we've done it again with Jackson Hastings.
Yeah. Well, he's
I've got it.
He always seems to go to favour when he goes back, doesn't he?
I've got it. I found him.
Go on. I've just for people who are listening and not watching, I've just seen you googling on your phone.
That monster's not really working, is it?
Go on, who's that second row you couldn't remember the name of, mate?
Gannon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gannon.
definitely a standout for Rhinos.
Yeah, he's one that I was gutted about with him being like a protege, but I reckon he'll come back and he'll sign for Saints or Wigan or something, and that'll just be it then. I think that's one of the reasons why it's hard sometimes because I don't think they'll all stay in NRL. You don't see these players going to NRL; they don't stay there, do they, for their whole career? Do you know what I mean?
Always tend to do better over there than backs.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely, mate. I don't know. Swiftly moving on because we've got a bit to get through, like I said, in terms of the news and the rest of this evening's podcast. Ben Curry, he's come out and said that he wants to remain at the Wire beyond 26. Obviously, his contract's up to the end of this season, but he confirmed that he does want to be a one-man club. So hopefully he can get a deal signed. What I would say is some of this news I'm reading through at the minute, obviously some of it's a week or two old, because obviously we've saved it building up to this opening podcast for 2026. So yeah, hopefully Ben Curry will do that because I'm an absolute sucker for players staying at a club for the full career because you don't see it very often at all, do you? So anybody that does that has got my respect without a doubt, fellas. Wakefield, they have announced signing of Leeds Rhinos Cameron Smith, but that's for the 2027 season. We touched on it earlier, Jordan.
I'll kick off about that one.
yeah, very briefly, Jordan. We've got those to get through. Cam Smith, he's done a job, hasn't he? He's been injured. Yeah, he's had games where he's not played so well, but he's served a purpose. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no, he has. He has. I just think that really didn't hit well with me. It were the day after his testimonial, it were announced, and I was just like, I just don't think people would have turned out as much for him. If it were almost like he were getting his kitty sorted, getting his little pot sorted with cash, and it were like, right, I'll do up merchandise. So by the way, I'm off to Wakey. I thought he might have waited a few months to announce that. I think that would have been a bit of a sucker punch, that, especially with us not even kicking a ball in season. And then you announce that, it's just a little bit harsh, but I don't think much of it with testimonials. Like I say, it is more for the player than the club. He'll go to Wakefield and he'll do a job. He'll definitely make the forwards a lot better, a bit more leadership. Whether he's a starting player or not, obviously Darryl Powell will make that choice. But no, I'm happy he's going, and like I say, it fills a bit of cash up for us, and we potentially can find someone else.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Next piece of news: Hull KR prop Tom Amon. He broke his hand in warm weather training a couple of weeks back in Tenerife. He's touch and go for the start of the season, but Willie Peters has come out and said he should be ready for the World Club Challenge. So this coming Thursday, obviously we're away at York. We don't think he'll make that game, but funnily enough, he'll make the World Club Challenge, which you wouldn't you? He'd play with one hand against in them type of games. It's a one-off game, isn't it? So we expect him to be back for then. Another bit of an NRL scouting going on here. Cronulla Sharks, they're set to be watching Lee and England prop Carl Trout. I mean, he stood out last season, Gaz, didn't he? He seems to be a bit of an handful, and he's got that athleticism about him as well.
No, I know Trout did anyway. But you say like Carl Trout or something like that.
Yeah, you did say Carl Trout, didn't you?
Yeah.
Owen.
Listen.
we're all rusty. It's first episode back. We're all rusty.
Yeah, well, he's definitely caught the eye, hasn't he?
I can see him doing okay over there. Just needs to get himself a bit bigger. That's all. He's got everything else. Just needs to bulk up a little bit. Yeah. Bit of international news, fellas. I want a straight answer out here because I don't want it to happen. There's a few coaches getting linked with the England job. Willie Peters for England, Gaz, yes or no? Yes.
Jordan, yes or no?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If they can make it work with club, and get around it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's three of us then, so hopefully it is him.
if KR win that World Club Challenge, then technically he's the best coach in the world. So
Oh yeah,
you can't say
yeah,
because
yeah.
of that.
No, you can't.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and we, like I say, we wouldn't ever get that, would we? Do you know what I mean? If that's the case, and we can get Willie Peters as coach, you know, let's be fair. It's like when I was saying last year about picking players that are in form. Like, if you want to say it off that, he's the most informed coach, isn't it? So, you know, you international wise, why would you not?
Yeah, he ticks all boxes, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Just the last two pieces of news coming out of St. Helens. The first one last week, Matt Purcell was rumoured to be leaving St. Helens, not according to Paul Rowley, Gaz.
Right. Love Rugby League, if you're listening to this. You're a gang of cowards and a gang of charlatans because you posted that 3 times after Paul Rowley came out and said he's not going anywhere. Are you run by bots or something because you're crap? So, yeah, it looks like Matt Purcell's going nowhere. I've seen rumours that a certain club have been sniffing around him. One that likes to bring in older players. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to get in trouble. He's one of those players. I mean, he does seem to be injured more than he actually is. He does play more games than people think. But yeah, I think that it's just agent talk. I think, if anything else.
Just on that, Gaz, I know we say a lot. We see certain players injured quite a lot. Do you think he's labelled? You know, in terms of
is a little bit.
He's always injured, but he's not actually not. He's probably playing more games than people think, like you've just said. Because people get labelled.
One thing us Saints fans say is Mark Percival is still a world-class centre when he's fit. But he just seems to get knocks. Like maybe I might miss a game or two here and there. Not so much long-term, but I get it, but it does disrupt the back line if he's in and out of the team. And
it's kicker as well, isn't it, Gaz?
Well, yeah. But we've got another kicker now, so we're all right.
Yeah, but in the past, obviously, you've
He's
relied
one of those. He's one of them players that's well established in team, and he's got that aura about him. He's a professional. He's well liked. He's a leader. He's obviously knocking on a little bit, which obviously will bode well for youngsters coming through. You know, he's a good role model for youngsters. And obviously, he's a cracking goal kicker. He's never been the fastest player, has he? But he is consistent when he plays. When he is fit, I don't often see him make mistakes. He's one of those players that I don't think would ever leave Saints, if I'm being honest, because when you're talking about a one-man team, I'm pretty sure he has stayed, hasn't he, through his career?
Yeah, he came through the academy. I'm critical of Matt personally. You might say it's unfair, and maybe it is, but sometimes his decision making just absolutely blows my mind. I mean, he'll pass his winger into trouble, but he'll try and run it when his winger's open. I'm just thinking sometimes but at the end of the day, he's up there on the pitch and I'm sat here talking, so he obviously knows more than I do.
Yeah.
But he's just little things you notice when you're watching.
Yeah. He's definitely, like you say, when he's fit, he's definitely a world-class centre, and hopefully Saints can keep him that way. Last piece of news, which caps off news round, fellas. Some news come out today regarding St. Helens prop Matty Lees. He's going to be out for 12 weeks due to a knee injury. I mean, you read things on social media, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, that's Saints done. Best props out, blah, 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 Gaz. Saints are more than a one-man team, surely.
Yeah, and the fact we've got David Clever, Alex Walmsley, Noah Stevens, George Delaney. We've got young Alfie Sinclair getting to the senior squad now. We've got depth in that proposition. So I think we're going to be all right for a bit. I mean, more injuries might come, or suspensions, but you just have to wait and see. But I'm not going to let my head drop over it. It's unfortunate for Matty, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Whether he plays for St. Helens, Leeds, or Arnold's, okay, if he's not in your team, of course you're going to lose a bit. But ultimately, it's a squad game, isn't it? And like I said earlier on, Saints, Leeds, Wigan, them types of teams, we've got young lads to stand up, and they will stand up 90% of the time. So I'm pretty sure, as ultimately it's a blow. but it's not a big blow because they've got cover as well, haven't they? So
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll
Well,
sort itself out.
We're in
got
same
Jake
boat as you,
Wingfield.
guys.
Yeah. So we've got Jake Wingfield and we've got Joe Sharks who could fill in if needed. So we're not out of players, you know what I mean?
So we're in same boat as you because McDonald's out for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like Matty Lees. It's like Matty Lees. He's obviously, you'll be able to play without him, but he's an impact player. But he will be missed, just like McDonald for Rhinos will be. No matter who you put in that position, they are going to be weaker than they would be because he's Matty Lees, James McDonald for us, the starting players. So you are going to feel it a little bit. I think it's fair to say that. But you'll mould. You know what I mean? You'll find your way through it, obviously.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not one to believe that having injuries is an excuse for losing games because it's not. It just isn't. The whole team buys into the philosophy of the coach. So even if 2, 3, or 4 or 10 players are missing, go out there and have a go. If you lose, you lose.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure that's just the opinion of 1 or 2 people. Majority of people who know about rugby league know it's a squad game ultimately, and that's what gets you over the line in the end.
That's it.
That pretty much covers news round, Gaz. For the listeners with us having a first podcast 2026, you've come up with a bit of a new segment of your own. You're going to select 1 player from all 14 clubs to watch out for this year.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a one-off because You've got me all wound up with this Percival and Natalie stuff now. I can't get my words out. Right, so just a little bit of fun to start the season off with. If you get the players up, guys, that might be a good idea. By the bloody
I tell you what, while you are doing that, Gaz, I caught a bit. Well, we played Wakefield last Friday, or was Friday before, sorry. And then I seen a bit of their game yesterday against Swinton. And Tyson Smoothie, their new hooker, he's going to be one to watch out for. He's got all the attributes of a good hooker. He's quick. He's got a great passing game. He don't get beat very often in tackle. So, while you are loading that list of players you've selected up, he's definitely one that I'll be watching out for.
I have to put my 10 pence in.
Of course you do.
And it is a biased one, but wow, how good were Danny Levi?
As good as his short shorts.
Mate, I know of him. Obviously at Huddersfield, but I didn't realise he were that nippy. And obviously when he came off a bench at Widnes, I think he's only going to do Rhino a lot better than, you know what I mean? I think it's exciting off the bench as well. Like, if you notice when you're watching the game, he speeded that ruck up, and we were a bit sluggish, and then he came on, and we just seemed to be moving. Do you know what I mean? And I think the partnership with Brodie Croft were amazing. And obviously, when you talk about Jake Connor being in there as well, I think all 3 of them could be quite deadly, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You got your list up then, Gaz?
I've got it up. I deleted it out my notes, so I've had to go and get the screenshot that I sent to the WhatsApp group. So I had to go and find that. Well, yeah, I've got it. I'll go alphabetical order, like I've done the list. So Bradford, I'm going Ryan Sutton. So obviously we all know what he's capable of. And when I put this together, it wasn't necessarily young players coming through. It could be like a new signing, so that's one of the new ones. Castleford, after watching that Matty Lee's testimonial game, and I think it was the hit he put in on the Challenge Cup game as well. Mikhail Ravaloa, or if Lauer, Joe, what? I'll struggle with English. Never mind that. I do apologise for butchering it, but he's a
Excuse me.
he's a big imposing winker. Oh, Jesus. John, you've got your editing skills going on today. Oh God.
Teething issues, lads. Teething issues.
Yeah. Big imposing winger. Obviously, not many people are going to run through him, so he's going to be under. Catalan, I'm going with Toby Sexton. Obviously, we know what he's capable of in the NRL. You'll know better than any of us two, Carl. Niall Evans
Yeah.
going to Huddersfield is one for me. A good, experienced player. I think he'll lift them a little bit. Sam Lasona at Hull. I've seen Cal's face going. Don't mention them.
To be honest, guys, I understand why you have, selected to watch out for him in 26. Jordan will tell you as well. For me,
I do apologise to you as well for that one, Jordan. But
for me, he probably needs to play bigger minutes for longer.
Yeah,
it's all right coming on for 10 minutes, knocking 3 hookers on the floor, and then going off. With the greatest respects to him, he needs to up his engine and make more of an impact for a longer period of time rather than a big hole in a line for 5 minutes. So I understand, and I'm pretty sure he's capable of that.
No,
well, that's the question. Just
when
before
I list these players, feel free to give your opinions on them as well.
All right, go on then.
So, OKR, now I know he's not a new sign, he joined halfway through last season, but Artem Org. I think Catalan, I've dropped a bollock letting him go, if I'm completely honest.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think with a pre-season under him, I think he'll do some damage at KR. Well, for you though, John, now, please, Daniel Levy, as you just mentioned. Or Daniel Levi, is it? Yeah.
Daniel Levi,
what do you think of that? Because he was linked with us.
Like I say, well, wasn't he? Yeah. No, exciting. Like I say, I think we needed someone like that. You know, when you're considering Jared O'Connor's, because I know you were mentioning it, Carl, in group. You know, it was surprising that Jared O'Connor got 9 shirt. He got 9 shirt, and then obviously we're rumoured to go to that lot, wasn't he? And managed to sign a new deal. So we're all right with that one. But yeah, Danny Levi for me, whether it's off the bench or starting, whichever, I think he's quite exciting. He's quite fast, pacey. We'll just see what happens.
I mean, one for me that stood out when you read that list out, guys, was Toby Sexton. I mean, had a bit of a torrid time at the Bulldogs in the NRL, not getting a few bits of games here and there, but not really favoured as one of the starting halfbacks. I'm pretty sure him and Lewis Dodd behind a decent pack at Catalan will favour their career for sure.
I mean, I think with that, you expect him to come over, put himself in the NRL shop window and go back. I think that's the sort of situation you're getting with him there. Lee, I've gone with Saints Academy graduate, Oliver Pollock. I didn't see a lot of him when he was playing, but obviously Lee have seen something in him to bring him in, so we'll see how that goes. My Saints, I've gone with Jackson Hastings, who's already starting to show his worth a little bit. And again, in a more competitive game, we'll see. Toulouse, I've gone with Tyler Dupree. I think Wigan...
Only one we know.
Right?
He's only one we know, isn't it?
I know, But I think, I don't know why Wigan let him go. I know he's come out and said it, but I've not read up on it yet. But it'll be a big boost to a side coming up. Wakefield, I'm going with your boy Jordan Jackson Field. I think he's again regular game time, and we've seen what he can do.
Yeah,
he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Warrington, I wanted to say Steve McNamara, but I think that's as far as it goes with them. But yeah, Kalepi Tanganoa. I'm mad signing, but I think he's going to bring something.
Yeah, he will, mate.
Wigan, I couldn't think because I was thinking Zach Eckersley, but he had his breakout last season. So I'm going with me, my little mate Johnny Vaughan.
Yeah,
I think
thanks connection there.
He showed up well for Salford when he played there when he was on loan. Unfortunately, got a bad injury towards the end of the season that sent him out for. A lot of fans will call him a Judas, but at the end of the day, if he's not getting a deal here, then another big club comes calling. You going, aren't you?
Yeah, of course you are. There's a few players you mentioned there, guys. I mean, Tyler Dupree at Toulouse Olympique. I mean, it's probably shit or bust for him because I was watching some a few weeks back where he could have signed for Rovers, and then Wigan said they wanted to keep him. Now he's out of favour. Obviously, they've sent him on loan for a season at Toulouse. So whoever goes to Toulouse, raises his game, and gets back to Wigan and stays in there, in Matty Pete's mind as a starting prop, or he fades away and has a comfortable year in Toulouse and then goes back and gets released. So he has got something to play for. I think. I mean, it's shit or bust for his career, in my opinion.
I think that's good business, that though, if I'm being honest. Because if he went to Rovers, I don't think you're getting him back. Do you know what I mean? Where he's not going to stay at Toulouse, is he? He's not going to go. He's not going to pen a deal, is it, to Toulouse? So it is literally just a holiday, isn't it?
Where they finish.
Well, yeah.
Listen, he might enjoy the French sun. You never know.
Yeah, who knows?
Listen,
Who knows?
Listen, a name like Dupree, it fits on it.
He's already French, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, I like that though because there's a good chance that them type of players go and prove a coach who's released them or sent them out on loan and prove them wrong. So I think it's good that they've got something to play for. Whereas you get a lot of players now where they sort of flit around the squad. They're on a 4-year contract and they're happy just to have a few appearances here and there, aren't they? But he clearly wants to go out, get better, and get back in Wigan's. Yeah, exactly. And I think we need all that in us game because we see so many that are comfortable. So, I mean, I hope it works out for him and he gets back over to Wigan. Matty P shows a bit more faith in him, keeps him for longer term. You mentioned about Wigan players and standout youngsters. I mean, another one, Jack Farrimond. He can play
literally just about to say that.
Yeah, he can play in multiple positions, can't he? But it's difficult for him to sling Harry Smith and Bevan French out the way. So you want to see these youngsters come through, but obviously not at the expense of them two guys. So there's potential out there. It's just picking their moments, isn't it? So,
like you say. I'd rather have you playing halfback than bloody Harry Smith.
Yeah, but you're anti Harry Smith though, aren't you?
Do you know what? He could play for anyone. I don't like him.
I know. But yeah, it is difficult. It is difficult for the young ones. So that was your 14 watch out players, Gaz. Jordan, you're going to do a bit of a team watch out, aren't you? I think I know where you're coming from in terms of this. It's a team we all want to watch out for, and a team that you think's going to do something and go somewhere in 2026. Who is it, mate? And what's your reasons for
that? It's not actually a shock, to be fair. It's a team.
Not Leeds Rhinos again.
Well, no. It's a team that's been building, and I think they're at a point now. They've been done a couple of times in big games, but I think they can do something. They just need to keep going, and that's Lee Leopards. I think Lee Leopards are there. They're very much in that area where Rovers were when Rovers obviously won trophies last season. I think there's just that little bit more that they need to do, whether it's just keeping into big games, because they've been beaten by Wigan, haven't they, 2 years on trot in playoffs. So obviously it's an hard game to win that. I understand that. But I don't think they're a million miles away, if I'm being honest. I see them beating Leeds round one. I really do. It's at home. I do see them beating Leeds round one, which I don't really want to say that, but I do believe that that's what may happen. I do think that they're going to be top four again. And I think they're going to have some big wins. I think they're going to beat some big teams. And they're the team to watch for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I always think it's their squad, don't you? I think it's always their squad that they just fall short of.
Yeah, and there's talks of Robbie Mullen going as well, isn't there?
Yeah, over 20 RL.
Yeah.
Do you want my crazy prediction for the season? And I'm going to get laughed at, no end for this, but if it comes off, I'm going to look like a bloody genius. I'm predicting York at the playoffs.
Wait a minute.
York.
For the playoffs. That is a big
No,
shout.
Ooh.
Nobody give Wakefield a chance last season, did they? Going to the playoffs.
Mate, you'd be a millionaire if you did.
No,
Yeah,
Snipe put a bet on that. They'll end up getting relegated or whatever, and there's no relegation. That's how unlucky I am.
Yeah, I think like you was just mentioning about Lee there. I think if you haven't got that squad in place, I think you struggle, or you have to be very lucky with injuries. I think that's ultimately why Lee have always fell short the last couple of seasons. I know they beat us in Challenge Cup a few years ago in Challenge Cup final on Golden Point extra time, but I don't know. They've got Armstrong at the back, the full back, haven't they? I mean, he's rapid, he's quick, he can break the line, but again, he picks up a few injuries. Josh Chandler's not getting no younger.
You've got that initial 17, and then there's no depth.
Yeah.
It's not just that, though. I do very much see Lee a bit like Rovers, though. Like, Willie Peters, Adrian Lamb, both very much similar in the way that the coach, you know what I mean? They're very much both very attacking teams. I think Adrian Lamb, with his time at Wigan, he's learned a hell of a lot in his roles. And he's come to Lee and he's turned them around, and it's just like Willie Peters has with Rovers, completely turned the team around, and they've gone from middle table to champions. And obviously Leopards have gone from middle table, potentially round the bottom, up to playoffs. And they're in that top four, do you know what I mean? So I think if you're in that top four, anything can happen, can't it? Like we've always said in playoffs, it's when it gets to playoffs, as long as you're in the playoffs, you've got your chance, haven't you? So they're just that team for me that they never stay die in a game. They'll play to 80 minutes, and they've got a good partnership in O'Brien and Lamb. They've both signed again, haven't they? They've got that consistency and they've got that playmaking sort of style. It's just like you say, they probably haven't got as much depth as probably they'd like, but they seem to make it work. So for me, they're the team at the moment that worry me when Leeds play them. I think
you imagine how insufferable Derek Beaumont would be if they win a grand final? It'll be worse than the kits.
Oh God, yeah.
He'd also have to get a load more fireworks imported from China, wasn't he? So I mean, he must have bought every firework that was in Lee last year. So if they did do that, they'd need a bloody boatload of fireworks, wouldn't they? That's for sure.
He did that.
He'd be walking around like Shania Twain, won't he? With frigging leopard frigging coat and not impressing me much and all that stuff. I'm blowing kisses at camera. Oh God, it'd be a nightmare.
Imagine him after a few bottles of wine there.
Do you want to change your mind now, John, after thinking about that?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So Lee Leopards, you're saying is a team to watch out, Jordan?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Well, you heard it first to all the listeners. Jordan from the Two Yorkshire First Saint Rugby League podcast, he has predicted Lee to go all the way. So you're locked in and you're committed now, mate. you can't back out now halfway through the season,
No, I'll take that.
I don't know. Right, moving on, fellas. We've discussed players to watch out for, and Jordan's team in terms of Lee, he thinks will go all the way. I mean, we'll look at our three teams now before we wrap up. And guys, what is your expectations, and where do you think St Helens will finish at the back end of the year?
Excuse me. So ideally, I want top four, which is where we should be, and we've fell short of that last couple of seasons. A final would be nice, whether it's Wembley or the grand final, one of the two. I say both. It's not exactly an easy thing to do, but I just want improvement. I want to see better rugby being played instead of one up every tackle, which we have been seeing with column non-competitive games. But yeah, I want to see the ball thrown around more. I want to see more risks being taken. I want some more fluid rugby league being played instead of just every tackle. So yeah, top 4 on the final. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I think you will get that, mate, because as much as St Helens didn't play a great attacking last year, there was always in games because of the defence. Now they've got Hastings in there. I'm pretty sure he will give your attack up and take it up to another level. And if they can do that, mate, they'll be at the latter end of this, season, competing for trophies. That's for sure, mate. Jordan,
I mean,
what's your?
if you'd asked me that 2 years ago, I would have said no. I want a grand final win. Seeing the way KR have come up and Lee, the way they're bouncing the regular suspects up the top 6. Without them, I'd say yeah, grand final. But with the way they're playing, it makes it a bit more competitive, a bit more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they'll be there or thereabouts, and as they always say, Gaz, never write off the Saints.
Correct.
Jordan, what is your hopes, and where do you think Reynolds will be come October?
It's a tough one. It is a tough one because I think we've got quite a few injuries. So I think we're going to struggle again for first good couple of months. I think we're going to have a lot of throwing about. With youngsters are going to get played a lot. I don't know. I don't. I'd probably say, as a Rhinos fan, I'd probably say playoffs. If they make the playoffs, I think that's a must. I think anything in the playoffs, like I say, if we just get into playoffs, I'm happy with that. I'd say a good cup run, but we've got Wakefield, so I don't even know if we'll get past that because that could go different. I mean, I've seen someone that followed me on TikTok. I think this morning, and he were doing a prediction of where everyone will finish in the league, and he put Rhinos at I think 5th place, but winning Challenge Cup, and then put Wigan at top, winning leaders and Super League. So, and I commented and said, I'll take that. I'll take 5th place and Challenge Cup. That'd just be amazing. I think for Leeds, I think a final would be decent, whether it's Challenge Cup, whether it's Super League. I would see it more at a Challenge Cup final. I don't think they'll get to the grand final, if I'm being honest. I think we're still
with the Challenge Cup.
You predicted Leeds?
Yeah, on that number. My prediction was Leeds to win the Challenge Cup, so don't let me down unless it's at our respect and you can sort off.
Yeah, I think like I said, Challenge Cup is probably, in my opinion, the closest we could get. I mean, let's beat Wakefield and then we can kind of hopefully see an easier game after that. But you can't call it in this 4th round. But yeah, I think Super League's too tough at the moment to call it for getting into grand final. I think this season will be as tough as probably ever. And I'll just put one out there, a prediction I've got there as well, which I should have actually mentioned. I can't call Leader Shield. I think the Leader Shield this season will be the toughest it's ever been. I think when you see a Lee are going to be out there. Obviously, Saints are going to be attacking. We're having Hastings. Rhinos are going to be there. Rovers are going to be there. Wigan obviously going to be there. I think the Leader Shield is going to be really tough this season. I think that trophy,
a very tight top 4.
Yeah, 100%. I think it is, and that's one of my predictions. I think it's going to be a very tight Leader Shield, but whoever gets it, I think is going to deserve it. But yeah, that's just my prediction. I know I've kind of ranted on a little bit there, but having a final.
Jordan ranting, you must be joking.
Like having a final and top, playoffs. I think, it's self-explanatory, I suppose. What we all expect
happy
or
with
what
that
we
then.
all want. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Yeah, and a Vegas win.
Hey, not that on the head.
Yeah, a Vegas win, because that's a grand final in itself.
We'll win trophies. You'll win 2 points at Vegas. Then how about
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take
that?
that.
Anyway, over to my team OKR and what I think and hopes and what what we think we'll achieve and what we won't achieve, etc. I mean, I don't see us winning it all again. I think it is nigh and impossible to somebody to do the treble. I think we'll make playoffs. No, I don't think so. I think we'll make playoffs.
Treble.
I think possibly get to a semi-final of a Challenge Cup, and I think we'll be close in the league. I'm not sure we'll win a trophy this year, but I think we'll be there or thereabouts competing in the semi-final games, etc. And the reason I say that is not to be negative. I'm just a realist, and a lot of the season last season for Rovers, the spine was fit for majority of the games. I think Michael Lewis missed 2 or 3 games all year. I think Tyrone May missed 1 game. You know, obviously Artemog came in late on, didn't miss many games at all. There weren't many props that was out week on, week in, week out. So I don't see many rugby teams don't go seasons on end, do they, without having any sort of, no disruption to the spine. So for them reasons, I think they'll be there or thereabouts, but we're not going to get as lucky in terms of injuries as we did last season. So I think we're there or thereabouts, but I'm not 100% sure we'll win a trophy. Do I expect them to? Yes. Do I think they will? Probably not for them reasons. Like I said, I don't think that's unrealistic. I just think that's the way sport goes sometimes.
That's a fair assessment, that Cal.
Yeah, you've got to be honest, mate. And yeah, when things go in your way, they go your way, don't they? And you know yourself when they don't go, so your way, they don't, and things happen for a reason, type of thing. So I think for those reasons, I think we'll be there or thereabouts. But to do what they did last season, I just can't see it. Obviously, I don't for that to happen, but it's just not realistic in my opinion. So like I say, we'll be there backing the boys like you two do every week. So we'll see how we go. Before you wrap us up, guys, we've got a little bit of news. Obviously, we've got some player interviews lined up. We're gonna do our weekly podcast that which we're recording now, obviously, and then we're also gonna do some player interviews separately. This week we've got Bradford utility back, haven't we? Connor Wynn, he's coming on. So there's another one to announce, Gaz, for next week.
Yep. So next Tuesday at the time recording is Cam Scott from Wakefield. Should be an interesting one. Some Super League knowledge in there as well. So should be a good one.
Yeah, that's it. Looking forward to any player interviews we get. Never mind 2 Super League players back to back. I mean, it's good for the podcast. It's good for the fans because we do this because obviously we are the fans and we do it for the fans as well. There was another little piece of news, wasn't there? Obviously, I don't know if I've mentioned it. I might have mentioned it a few times. I go to Vegas at the back end of this month. Don't know if I mentioned it, lads, have I? Might have mentioned it once or twice, possibly. I'm going to be doing...
that day.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a vlog. So it'll be me being an absolute tit, probably. Jordan's going to polish it up when I get it all back to him and together, but hopefully we can have a good experience, see people who can't make it, what I'm seeing on this vlog. So Jordan's going to put something together and hopefully it'll be a good watch. And I think that's pretty much it, guys, isn't it?
Yeah. Big thank you to everyone who's supported the podcast so far. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Massive thanks to our sponsor, Acorn Joinery Leeds. We're back next week with the Super League Round 1 results and previewing Round 2 and whatever news shows up around that time, along with the player interviews coming up. So keep your eyes out for them. And remember, the podcast is for the fans, by the fans.